And in that spirit, and in the spirit of showing you something that you maybe don't normally see performed, we have Andrei talking about his art to you. His art is in the next room. After his 15-minute talk, 15-minute talk, it's a short talk. Don't worry, you have time. All of you are welcome to make your way to get some drinks and then move into the next room where his art hangs on the wall. And there is drinks at the back there, and there's a donation box. And feel free to also make your donations in supporting us. Anya will talk a little bit more about that. About Andrei, really quickly. Personally, I've been collecting arguments against nihilism ever since I came to Germany. Nihilism is terrible and difficult, and Andrei is, for me, one of the people who makes the strongest cases against nihilism. So, for Andrei, please.
So, yeah. I sit right now in front of people for whom I may not need to explain what art is, or whatever some paint on a canvas looks like, or how good it feels to vibrate some chords. These are simple things that everybody did as a kid when playing with a rubber band and hearing that loud sound. That was funny. Or drawing with some crayons, some stick people, and showing them to the parents and hoping that they smile back at you. Making somebody smile is not a small thing. But unfortunately, life is not only about smiling. My grandma taught me a rather sad view of life. After laughing comes crying. Life is also about crying, about being stupid and being mad, about calling other people stupid and mad. It's getting mad about being called mad. So what is the solution then, if you cannot escape it? To smile and to look only for smiles? Look around on the internet. The ones who are not hating are preaching love. Empathize. Stay positive. Smile. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Manifest happiness. Maybe this helps some people. Maybe some feel better after they see somebody dancing on TikTok and being themselves. But I can assure you that this does not work for everybody. And since I don't have to cite any sources here, my source is going to be me. I am Andrei. I was born in Romania, no special kid, pretty special place. My parents, as most of that generation, had to make a hard choice. Stay home with their children and love them, but remain poor and give them no future, or work abroad and try to build something for them. They chose the latter. It is a sacrifice that entire generations of parents have been doing in Romania ever since. I grew up with my grandma and my brother. When I was just 3 years old, When I was just 3 years old, an icicle fell into my eye. I am no genius, so I don't remember how it felt. What I remember is that I was taken to the capital city to repair it. So the present for that Christmas was a repaired eye. It worked. Now I have 2 working eyes, and one that is fully opened and looks at you here. Thank you for being here. And the second one who is half opened and is mostly looking at myself. It was indeed the best gift for Christmas, since this lazy eye is quite diligent, and it helped me to reflect on everything I do and why I do it. Not only the eye was lazy, I was lazy as well. I was not the most helpful country boy. Yeah. I was trying to get away with working as little as possible. Not because I was interested in the work of Kant and Hegel from a young age, but because I wanted to watch TV and YouTube. And that is how I started drawing. I started copying what I saw. Firstly, bad at the beginning, and it didn't get better later. Yeah, but I kept drawing. Whatever I saw. And I hoped that I'm gonna see success one day. And because I was a kid, I was already feeling that smell of success, that thin air. I was stupid and small, and I did not care for advice. I did not care for big artists, since I thought I already was one. So even though Romania is not the most European country of them all, the white, male, posh, Parisian style of artist was vibing totally with me. Before entering high school, disaster struck again. I had back pain for every time when I went to sleep, and for some 3 months, I barely slept. I took all the possible painkillers, and nada. Kinetotherapy and nada. I did some praying, and some other people did some other praying, and nada. But then I did an MRI, and no more nada. After some more checking, they found it. It was the cancer, but everybody else called it a tumor, so it's fine. I did not know what that meant. I thought I would get the surgery just like the eye one, and that was it. That's where I was wrong. At 16, I was a baby again. I could barely walk before the surgery, and 3 months after the surgery, I was still not walking. I felt like a burden to my family and to all the people around me. And I did not know that was just the beginning. Chemo started in Romania, in a hospital room with 3 other parents and 3 other kids. That was, well, a bit smaller than a student room here in Heidelberg. The school was gone for me, and I have to say, that was indeed a blessing. I unfortunately made friends in high school and in the hospital. Some lived, and some, well, were not as lucky. A kid just died next to me. He was around 4, and I heard his mother cry and ask, "Where is my child? Where is my child?" I thought I would be next, and my mother would cry the same thing. But don't worry, because I got saved by positive thinking. I was hearing the same thing every day. Smile, it is going to end soon, and you're going to be healthy and happy. Well, I wish it was ended, but I wanted no smile and no happiness. I was reading Kafka, and I felt exactly like a cockroach. And I wish that if there was a God, he should stamp me on the spot. I was not capable of love. I was not capable to show anything to the people around me. I was bad to them, and I was bad even to my mom, who cared for me for 1 year in the hospital and at home. I continued treatment here in Germany. Just a few miles away from the fields my mom used to work when I was 3. And between every set of chemo, I was reading and drawing. I started reading philosophy like every edgy teenager. And it helped. That was my therapy. That and drawing. My life oscillated between nearly dying, wanted to die, thinking about death while going to sleep, and also flying while drawing and reading. It was hell and heaven at the same time. And after more than 1 year of treatment with chemo and radiotherapy, I was lucky to survive. Once again, not as lucky as some of my friends in Romania. I was lucky and privileged enough to survive. And art just stuck to me. I wanted to do an exhibition while I was still under treatment, and we went to a big artist in Mainz, and we asked him if we could do it. His first question was to my aunt. He asked, "Okay, but is the kid dying?" My aunt was like, no, he's not dying." Okay, then no problem. If he was dying, we do an exhibition. If he is not dying, then he has to learn, and he has to learn a lot. First of all, who is so nuts to ask that? And secondly, that helped a lot. I felt like I needed to draw every day. And that was my whole purpose, to draw my pain and anger away. Not to flush it away, but to concentrate it and to understand it. But that was quite egoistical. And although useful for me, it was of no use for the others. And if I was lucky, I felt like I have to give something back. So art needed to be not just therapy for me, but therapy for the others. Oh, there's the last page that I lost. No worries. You have it? Perfect. So the question now comes, and what does this have to do with positivity? Well, I challenge you to tell the smaller me to be happy. Or to tell me that there is a reason for everything that is happening. Or better go to other patients who are suffering as well right now and to tell them to smile. I hope that my story shows that the world is not only about love. It is about suffering without purpose. It is about being thrown sometimes into an absurd world and trying to build some kind of relationship with it, some kind of meaning. In the end, all of these meanings are just lies that we tell ourselves to be happy. But some lies are indeed better than others. And here's how I like to tell my lie. My pieces are found to be disturbing by some. And that means that as much as we want to empathize with the others, we are not ready if we are not even ready to see the suffering, not even talking about feeling it. But maybe there is another way to look at it. Maybe it reminds some people how they felt and how sadness and suffering feels. Maybe it reminds some that sometimes not a smile, but feeling, caring, and doing is the answer. We can help ourselves, and we can help the people around us. But we should not live blinded by this hope. We should not be looking always at the end, at the light in the tunnel. Because it induces a certain kind of blindness around suffering. The best lie has to embrace suffering, sadness, depression, and everything else that makes life miserable. This is my lie, and I really believe in it. If we stop running away from everything that we call bad, we will actually not be able to find happiness, but to create it out of sadness, suffering, depression, and everything else that we just call dust in our room. So I continued lying to myself like this, and I looked at how much suffering the educational system is bringing in this world. And I tried to make teachers and students not hate, not smile at each other while lying, but actually understand each other. Understand that both are actually not having the best time of their lives. I also tried looking at Christmas differently. I'm trying to tell the stories of people who only whisper, or stories of people who have been silenced, either by death or by positivity. Hope is a bad advisor. It is indeed maybe better not to believe in tomorrow. That doesn't mean that YOLO is the answer. Having fun and being happy is the answer. But rather creating and feeling everything with passion, including sadness, may bring true happiness. Because that is how we make the most of what we have here. Not by running from sadness and hoping to always be happy, but rather by radically feeling everything. And this is my story, a sincere and truthful lie that I tell myself and I want to share with others. Thank you.